So aware of the whole body, sitting and breathing. Awareness, awareness suffusing the body from the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet. And the body appearing in awareness. Aware of the belly and softening in the area of the belly, feeling and softening. And sensing the whole span of the back and softening in the back. And relaxing in the chest and the shoulders. Down the arms. So you're feeling and softening into your elbows and your forearms. Relaxing into the hands and the fingers and the thumbs. And softening, letting go in the muscles of the neck and the jaw. Just letting the jaw hang gently, be soft. And relaxing throughout the face, all the muscles of the face. Relaxing in the forehead and the back and sides of the head. And relaxing, feeling and relaxing in the scalp. And once again, aware of the whole body sitting. And the instructions this week are featuring primarily the breath and the body. Kind of emphasizing having an anchor or a home base. So as to develop some stability, some unification of mind. And so within the field of the body or the frame of the body, just aware of the sensations that come with breathing, breath by breath and moment by moment. And some of you will feel the breath kind of most vividly at the nostrils. You can just rest the attention at the gateway of the nostrils and just feeling the flow of sensation right here, moment by moment. Or you may feel the breath sensations in the chest, expanding, softening, or in the belly, rising and falling. And for some of you, it may be more sensing the frame of the whole body and feeling the arc of the breath sensations in the whole body. Wherever you feel the breathing, letting the attention rest here, kind of ride along with the waves, with the flow of sensation. Letting everything else happen in the background, and just with a vivid but relaxed attending. With the swell of the in-breath, and feeling the gentle arc of the out-breath. And then remaining awake and aware in the stillness between breaths. And breathing in, aware with breathing in. And breathing out, aware with breathing out. And just letting yourself be radically simple. Letting this breath be enough just for right now. And our attention is usually hopping around from one thought to another, agenda, plan to another all day. And this keeps us kind of restless and scattered. Here we have a kind of a unifying element, a place to gather your scattered energies. For now, letting them unify in the breathing body. And coming back to this simple breath awareness whenever you get lost in some thought world. And whether the breath is long or short, rough or smooth, it doesn't matter for our purposes. Just letting yourself feel the breath that is happening exactly the way it is. And we're not doing breathing. Breathing is already happening. Something your body takes care of. So just being like a passenger along for the ride, but an aware passenger. Aware through the arc of the in-breath, aware through the arc of the out-breath. And aware in the transitions between breaths. Sometimes people think, oh, in order to be aware with breathing, I have to push everything out of my mind, kind of ignore everything else. Actually, that just creates tension to try to block things out or push things away. It takes energy and creates tension in the mind. See if you can let the breathing be center stage or featured, but also in an open-hearted way. Let everything else that's happening just happen around it or in the background. So including sounds in the environment, including thoughts, including whatever's happening in your body or sensations or reactions. Just letting it all happen by itself. But keeping the breathing kind of center stage, like an anchor or a home base, just for your present moment, attending moment by moment. If you feel tense or like you're straining, just try doing less. Again, the attitude is we're like floating on a raft in the ocean and just feeling the waves. You don't need to make the waves, just feeling the waves moving you. If you feel kind of very kind of lost or vague, or it's hard to stay with the breathing, seeing if you can bring a little more interest to noticing the kind of the subtleties of the changing sensations. When you do get lost in thoughts, it's not a mistake. It's not a problem or a failure. It's really an opportunity to turn and watch the scenes that are playing out in your mind. These are the scenes that entice you and scare you throughout the day. They're appearances in the mind. And so it's important to be able to watch them or to listen to the kind of the narrative that you're inside of, or the messaging that's playing. It's another aspect of thinking. You can listen to that internally, aware with it, and then find the breathing again and reconnect with the breath. But it's important not to miss the opportunity to watch the mind when you do get kind of pulled into thinking. And then without pushing away the thoughts, of course, you back to feeling the fullness of this in breath and the fullness of this out breath. Good morning to all of you. I guess it's morning here. Some of you are other places in this great world. So good day or good evening, depending on where you are. Just to say a few more words about this aspect of concentration or samatha or samadhi that we're featuring this week in the meditation instructions. Of course, on a kind of operational level, when we attend to the breathing or any aspect of experience, the idea is we're not trying to get somewhere, not trying to make something happen. So the whole methodology is around present moment attending. But of course, that has effects. If this didn't have effects, or if it didn't deepen, or nobody would do it. So this is partly why it's so important to actually invest energy, care, attention into this mode one that I've been talking about, the kind of aspect of unifying the mind with some object as a support. Again, can be the breath sensations, wherever you feel them in the body. Could be the felt sense of the whole body sitting. Could be feeling the breath within the frame or the context of the whole body. But it could also be something like hearing, just resting in an awareness of just hearing the sounds moment by moment. So you can experiment with what anchor or primary object is most supportive for you. However, it's the attending moment by moment with this texture of present experience. Right? At first, we don't use thinking as our primary object, or even emotions, because we're so entranced by our thoughts and emotions. So to develop the stability, the degrees to which the mind can be unified are inconceivable. And a lot gets cultivated in that. One is the attention. Attention is not just a fixed quality. Your attention, for most of us, is very superficial, just kind of touches and bounces off things. But attention actually learns how to connect with experience. And that's a function of attending. So in thousands of years ago, they mapped out kind of the unfolding of what happens. Actually, mindfulness, moment by moment mindfulness, connecting with just something as simple as the breath sensations, gives rise to interest. It's actually paying attention gives rise to this quality of interest or investigation. And one has to experience that to understand it. It's not just, oh, I'm going to be interested. It's actually, from attending, the attention becomes, it's almost wakes up a little. And from that interest, as the breath, at first it's just this boring thing, then it starts to become interesting as you sort of deepen, as you get closer to it. As it kind of the vividness increases from the attention getting more engaged. As it gets more interesting, the attention becomes rapt. They call it, it's a rapture, right? Which is not rapture like, ooh, but just the attention starts to really stick to the object. And that also has an unfolding to it, right? So it starts to deepen, and then there's a kind of a calm that starts to pervade. The mind gets much more stable and unified. Pleasure, or kind of a, pleasure is too strong a word, just a kind of like an ease. So all of this is the cultivation of the unity of mind and body, and eventually mind, body, and environment, just from the attention being trained. So attention, this is like an important prerequisite to having some kind of stable wakefulness. A stable wakefulness that can actually observe very clearly what's happening here. And a stability that's actually allows for a sort of flexibility of mind, because the conceptual layer, which is very thick, it's almost like an encasement that we live inside of. It's just all of our concepts and ideas, and are the unseen views that are just present and shaping everything. As those get quieter, they get quieter from us being more engaged with not that. Yeah. As those get quieter, the mind starts to feel very flexible and malleable. Yeah. Also spacious, because actually it's the concepts, being stuck in the concepts, that prevents us from feeling the spaciousness of presence, awareness itself. Yeah. Awareness is not locked into this little body. It includes everything we experience. So I'm just saying this really to keep you engaged and interested. Yeah. So this week we're featuring that. That's something that in a retreat we would do in the first days, kind of, get caught up in thinking, come back to the breath. Get caught up in thinking, come back to the breath. You're walking, doing walking meditation, start getting thinking, come back to walking. So for these days, also in your daily life, just whatever you're doing that with awareness. Start thinking about something, future, past, notice it. And for now, it's the coming back. Yeah. And that starts to develop this kind of robust presence. That's going to be our vehicle for all of the insight and understanding that comes about. Yeah, so this week, that's what we're featuring in the morning instructions. And just to say, it's so nice to be all here with all of you, and the chat is open if you want to say hello or anything. I know because it's a webinar format, you won't see each other or even who's here unless you write in on the chat. And if any of you are interested, I forgot to mention this to our group, but my father and I are leading a retreat, a one-day retreat on Saturday, July 11th. It's through the Omega Institute in New York. Hello in Brazil. Oh, nice. Buenos Aires. So we're leading a one-day retreat. We were originally doing, every year we do a 5-day retreat in Rhinebeck, New York at Omega. We postponed it to July. And then of course, we can't do that in person. So we made it into a one-day online event. And I posted the link at the very beginning of the chat. So if you want to just scroll up to the top of the chat, you can find it there. And love for any of you to join us there. Okay, thank you all, and I'll turn off the video now, but I'm going to leave the chat on and for a little bit, so you can say hello. And I look forward to sitting with you again tomorrow.